Welcome, students. Now, hope you all are happy and healthy right now. Obviously, we are facing a very great problem right now. Hope for your better learning, and that's why we are going to start a new part, that is part number 2 of lesson 1 of class 11. And in this part, we are going to cover about the diversity in the living beings or living world. Diversity means different kinds of organism. We know there are lots of organism present on our earth. So all the living beings, either it be the plant or animal or anything, they all together called the biodiversity. Once again I am repeating it. All the organisms that are present on the earth, either be it a plant or animal or anything else, are called biodiversity. And the very most important thing of a biologist, that they must need to or they must read or study about all kinds of organisms together. Means it is our duty to study about the different kinds of organisms. So let's study what is biodiversity. So diversity means variety. Diversity means variety of organisms. So diversity in the living world or the biodiversity is the occurrence of variety of life. Life means living thing. So the variety of living things that are present on the earth. So how the organism differ from one another? They are differing in morphologically, means physical appearance. Morphology means physical appearance, like in their size. Different organisms have different kinds of size. Different organisms have different kinds of colors. Different organisms have different kinds of arrangement of organs inside their body. Anatomy means arrangement of the different kinds of organs inside the body, along with the bones and all. Okay, so systems, study of systems and the structure of the body is called anatomy. So anatomy is also differ from one animal or one organism to another. Similarly, habitat is also differ from one organism to another organism. And habits, and all organisms have different kinds of habits, either with a food habit or mode of reproduction or anything, nutrition and all. So each different kinds of plants, animals or microorganisms represent a species. Means a variety of organisms present in the plant and animal and microorganism, and each organism has each different kinds of variety, and each variety is called a species. So when you come to know about the different kinds of dog, lots of variety of dog are present on this world. Each variety is called a species. If you say there are 500 varieties of dogs on the earth, 500 varieties, what does it mean? Means there are 500 species of dog on the earth. Species is the peculiar kind of variety of a particular kind of organism. Hope you understand about the diversity. So how many organisms are present on the earth? Currently it has been discovered that about 1.7 to 1.8 million of living organisms present on the earth. Understood? How many organisms? Organism means both plants, animals, microorganisms all together. So it is about 1.7 to 1.8 million kinds of organisms are present on the earth, out of which 1.25 are animal and 0.5 million are plants. So 1.25 million, so unit is not written over here, please note it down. Out of 1.25 million are animal and only 0.5 million are the plant. So how can we able to study these much kinds, all these kinds of organism together? Is it easy to study each and every kind of organism? Think. Obviously not. About 1.7 to 1.8 million kinds of organism, and their studies and knowing them is not a very easy task. So sometimes scientists have made it easy to study all the kind of organism by certain stages or certain you can say rules. And what are the rules? These are the rules. First, organisms should be identified, means there should be a identification of the organism. Whenever you come to know about an organism, when you facing an organism, first of all you try to find out how the organism look like. Is it look like a dog or a cat or a microorganism like a bacteria? So it's your first duty to find out or to identify the particular kind of organism. And identification has certain its own rules, so I will explain it later. Next, the nomenclature. Nomenclature means giving the name of that particular organism. First of all, you try to find out the kind of organism, means you just try to identify the organism. Secondly, you are going to give the name of that organism. So giving the name is called nomenclature. Nomen means giving the name on the basis of certain features of that particular organism, and these features are called key. I will explain all the things later on. So giving the name is called nomenclature. So after the identification, you just give the name of the organism, and it is called nomenclature. And just after the nomenclature, you classify the organism on the basis of certain characteristics. So classification means giving a particular place to the organism on the basis of its characteristics. All the organisms that are present on the earth has been classified into different categories. Suppose if we choose an animal has been divided into two main forms. First is called chordata and second is called invertebrata, or vertebrate and invertebrate. So invertebrate have no backbone. All those organisms which have no backbone are categorized under the invertebrates, and those which has the vertebral column, they are categorized under chordata, phylum chordata. So you can see there is a variety of categories has been made on the basis of characteristics. You will study all these varieties and characteristics in the other chapter, that is chapter number 2, 3 and all. We will study it later on. So all organisms are classified. So first of all, the animals or organisms are identified, then name has been given, and then they are classified under the different taxa or different categories. Now we are going to study some important terms. First of all, systematics. What is systematics? It is a branch of biology. It is a branch of biology that deals with the cataloging plant, animal and other organism into categories. Means cataloging means categorize. Cataloging means categorize. So organisms are categorized, either be the plant or be the animal or be the other organism. They are categorized and into categories and are named after categorizing the organism on the basis of their basic features, their peculiar features. Their name has been given and compared and studied, and after that they are compared with the other organism and then they are studied. So systematics is a branch of biology that help to categorize the different kinds of plants and animals and other organisms into different category on the basis of the features, the peculiar features that they have, and they are after that named and compared with the same kind of organism under which they are belong to. So all organisms are categorized, named, compared and studied, so that organism, each and every organism, when whatever you encounter with, or whatever you see, what the kind of organism you see or you encounter, you can easily understand the organism on the basis of their characteristics and the categories which has been made over here. With the help of systematics, you can compare that organism with the other organism. Just I have given a very simple example. Suppose you encounter a cat like organism, not a cat. So first of all, you see the organism and try to identify whether is it a cat or it look like a cat. Means you are just comparing the organism with the other organism and try to study the characteristics of that particular organism. So the cat-like organism is observed by you very carefully. You try to identify the organism. You give the name of that organism. You compare that organism with the other organism that is known to you already. And then you come to conclude that it is a particular kind of organism. And then after, you categorize that organism in a particular category. Just cat-like organism will be categorized in a category of cat, that is a mammal. It is a class, it follows the class mammal. I will teach all the things, just I am explaining it. Okay. Next, identification. Although I have already explained you about this identification, let's read it once more. Identification is the finding of correct name. Whenever you encounter with the animal or you with the plant, so you try to find out the name of that organism. Anything that comes in your mind, to find the name or to know the name of that organism. So identification is nothing but the finding the correct name and place the organism in the system of classification. So you try to find out the organism's name and make them categorized under the system of classification on the basis of the features or the characters that the organism have. Means on the basis of the characteristics of that organism, you categorize it in a particular category in the system of classification. I will explain what is the system of classification. So how do you come or classify? You classify with the help of certain features, certain peculiar features, and that peculiar features are called key. These peculiar features automatically help you to make them categorized in a particular kind of category of the system of classification. So keys are the features which easily help you to make understand that in which category the particular kind of organism fall down. Understood? So let's study. It is done with the help of key. This is carried out by determining similarity with the already known organism. Means you compare the organism which is known to you, we compare the particular kind of organism with the other organism that is already known to you. As I already given the example of a cat, you compare the particular kind of organism which you encounter with the cat. Why are you comparing with the cat? Because there are some features that are common in both the cat and the organism that you are facing with or encountering with. I hope you are understanding. Next, key are the characteristics, okay, which help them to categorize the particular organism in a particular category of system of classification. Next, nomenclature. What I told you about the nomenclature. Nomenclature is nothing but the naming an organism on the basis of certain characteristics. So nomenclature is the process of standardized name. Standard name should be given. You cannot give the name according to yourself. It should be followed by certain organization. I will give the name of the organization that is already written by me in the notes. So nomenclature is the process of standardized naming of a living organism. Particular organism is known by same name all over the world. Means the name that is given to organism should be known or popularized throughout the world. Means if you are saying a tiger, means Panthera tigris, this tiger is known by its name throughout the world. Means if you are saying the tiger is a sher is not a common word or common name throughout the world. Sher is a local name in India, but tiger is an English name that is used by America or England. But many countries do not use the tiger word at all for that particular organism. So a name has been given to tiger which make them popularized throughout the world, and whole world will know that organism by that particular name. And what is the particular name was? It was the Panthera tigris. Yeah, Panthera tigris is the scientific name of the tiger by which it is known throughout the world. So nomenclature is the process of standardized naming of the living organism. To a particular organism, it is known by the same name all over the world. Understood? So which are the association which provide the name to a particular kind of organism? Means these organizations, if the plant has been discovered, so the new plant, the name of the new plant is given by ICBN, and ICBN's full name is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Once again, International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. It is the full name of ICBN, and this organization helped to give the name of a newly discovered plant. It is its duty to give the scientific name of that particular plant. Similarly, if a newly discovered animal is there, so who will give the name? Another organization is there that provide the name to a particular newly discovered organism or living organism or animal is ICZN. What is the full name of ICZN? It's a International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. So these are the two most important organizations that provide the name or scientific name to a particular kind of newly discovered organism, either be it a plant or be a animal. Now let's study about botanical or biological nomenclature. Biological nomenclature means, wait, something wrong has been happened over here. Biological nomenclature means giving the name of the organism, and if the name has been given to a biological organism, then it would be the biological nomenclature. So let's study about biological nomenclature. So biological nomenclature is the universally accepted principles to provide scientific name to a known organism. Means it is a principle, it is the rules. Principle means rules that are used to in the naming of an organism. So biological nomenclature is the naming of an organism on the basis of certain principles, and these principles is provided to give the scientific name of an organism, and it is accepted throughout the world. It is accepted throughout the world. Next, each name has two components. Whatever you come to know about the scientific name of an organism, the scientific name of organisms, the list of the scientific name of organism has been given in your book. You need to learn it. In NCERT book of class 11 lesson number 1, the scientific name of organism, different organism has been given over there. Remember, the naming of that organism or scientific name of the organisms are very important for NEET examination. So do not forget to learn it. It's very important for the NEET. Next, each name of the each scientific name has two components. Each scientific name has two components. Suppose if I say about mango. Mango is a common or local name in India and also in England. But what is the scientific name? Scientific name is the Mangifera indica. The Mangifera indica has two components. There are two words that make the scientific name, Mangifera and indica. So Mangifera indicates the genus of the plant kingdom. Suppose, see here. So each name has two components, Mangifera indica. First name is of genus. What is genus? I will explain. And second name is the specific epithet, means species. Specific epithet means species. So the first name is genera or genus, and second name is specific epithet means species. And the system of nomenclature providing two names is called binomial nomenclature, and it was first given by Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus. Remember this very important term that I am telling you. So in each scientific name you get the two names. One is the genus of that organism which the organism belong to, and another is the specific epithet, or you can say species. So giving the name, one is of genus of a particular organism and another is the species of that particular organism is called binomial nomenclature, and it was first given by Carolus Linnaeus. So this system of classification in which two names has been given to each and every organism. One, the first name is the genus and the second name is the species. The system of naming the organism by giving first name as a genus and second as a species is called binomial nomenclature. Remember this, binomial nomenclature, and the binomial nomenclature has been proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. Remember this is a very important question. What do you mean by scientific name or binomial nomenclature? I have already given the answer of that question and you can also note from there. Now let's study about the different scientific name of human being. The scientific name of human being has been given via Homo sapiens. So we belong to the genus Homo, and our species, that is specific epithet, is sapiens. So the first name is genus and the second name is species. So binomial nomenclature has some principle and that is accepted by throughout the world. So what are the principles, under what principles or rules the binomial nomenclature has been written? First, binomial nomenclature or biological names are generally in Latin. Means all the name that you are getting over here, like Homo sapiens or Mangifera indica, it is written in the language, Latin language. It is written in the Latin language and written in form of italics. Italics means just like this. Italics. It is written in Latin. Latin is the language, and form of writing the letter is italics. Yeah, like this. Next, the first word of the biological name is the genus, and the second is specific epithet. it is already told to you. Both the word in the biological name when handwritten, if you are writing with the hand, remember this very important term, very important point is it. Point number 3, if you are writing the name with your hand, in that case separately underlined should be there. Suppose you are writing here Homo sapiens, Homo, and here sapiens, suppose. So separate underline, not a single underline should be there, not a single underline should be there. Genus should be underlined separately and species should also be underlined separately. If you are writing with your hand, if it is already printed or you are typing in the computer screen, then it should be italics, and they are not, it does not need to underline in printing form, but in handwritten form it should be underlined separately. Understood? Next, the first word denoting the genus should be in capital. Suppose I have written over here Homo sapiens, so H should be capital and all the other letters will be small. Here S is also small. Understood? Only first letter will be capital and all other letter will be small. So the first letter of the genus start with a capital letter, while the specific epithet start with a small letter. Understood? Now the most important term that we are going to study is the classification or classification. Means how the organism are classified and what are the basis of classification. Means what are the different categories under which they are classified. It is the process by which anything is grouped in convenient category. In classification is nothing but a process in which same kind of things or substances or organisms are categorized under same category or classes or taxa under the basis of observable character. Means if you are observing with your eyes, on the basis of observation of the characteristics, you classify the same kind of organism in the same category. Suppose I have given so many chocolates to you, I told you to classify. So how can you classify? You will classify on the basis of the color of the chocolate or on the basis of the taste of the chocolate. Suppose I have given a lots of pulses along with the you can say along with the England and what, there are so many chocolates are there in the market, England and Alpenlibe and like that, and I told you to classify. So you will classify all the pulses in a one category, all the you can say Alpenlibe in another category, all the Cadbury in the another category. So all chocolates has been classified in the different category on the basis of observation. Means you are watching, you are seeing it and classifying it. So this is the method of classification by observing the organism. So here this part is ending. Hope you understood this part very well. If you have any kind of problem regarding understanding, you can ask me or you can WhatsApp me in my personal WhatsApp. It is already given in the group. Remember to complete the homework and the notes that has been given over here. Complete it and send it in the WhatsApp. Hope for your better learning. Thank you. Bye bye. See you.